I'm gonna check your mic.
I'm going to check my mic. Can you hear me?
I'm fine. You check it.
I did check Mike. Mike is present and accounted for.
Is it working for you? Just in case. Right there.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to call our Planning Commission meeting to order at 5:33 p.m. on October 15th, 2025 in the Orem City Council Chambers. And we will begin with an invocation by Jerry.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful this day for the opportunity to meet together and consider the issues that face our city here. We pray for guidance and inspiration that we might do that which is in the best interest of the citizens of this city. We pray and are grateful for this city in which we live, the opportunities that it affords us. And we are grateful for all that thou hast given us. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Jerry. Okay, we will begin with our consent agenda, which is item 3.1, Centennial Acres Plat C, plat amendment located generally at 1670 North, 680 West, and 3.2, approval of minutes from October 1st, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. Is there anything we want to remove, or are we good to move to motion? Okay. Then can I have a motion on the
I move that Orem City Planning Commission approve items 3.1 and 3.2, the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Rod moved and Hasem seconded that we approve our consent agenda. Mike?
Aye.
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 Okay, the consent agenda is approved. We will move on to, you're welcome. Move on to item 4.1, which is Rocket Gem D, final plat condominium conversion located generally at 341 West, 310 North. And we'll begin with staff report.
All right. Thank you. So this is just for this first page for public interest. This is the current structure at the subject property address 241 West 310 North. And the conversion, this project is a townhome conversion of this existing duplex. So I'll go through relatively quickly, and you guys stop me if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, please. Okay, I just want to make sure you understand how we're doing it and why it works.
I'm going to stop you. There is some fan on. Can we get the mics a little bit higher? We can barely hear.
Yeah.
At least I can barely hear. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. Closer, speak louder.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're good. We can get the fans turned off here. Just 1 second. We've got
Okay.
We're cooling the super collider back there, Madeline, and I can't be responsible for what happens.
For what happens.
Stop. There's no, we have a high-tech PVC pipe or broom handler, so. Oh,
Oh. Maybe we just need to turn the mic.
so everybody talk loud for a minute while we high-tech figure this out.
Maybe just get closer to the mic.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Is that better? Can you hear better now?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm thrown off my game, so I'll have to just call it a night. So this is again a townhome conversion under a couple of sections of our code. So we'll go through those relatively quickly. Again, the area, this is 241 West and 310 North. This is again a duplex. There are a series of duplexes on this street, remnants from a time when those were allowed there. This is now zoned R75. There's some commercial zoning to the east here, but this area is largely R7.5. These duplexes are all legal but non-conforming in that stand. They have that status. There are two parts to this request: a site plan and a plat, and that is because the Durfees, the applicants that own this and are applying for Rocket Gem's new plat here, would like to convert the existing structure. And that is it's a subdivision, but it's under a special part of our code. So it's a subdivision that requires a site plan as well. So this is the plat that they've prepared that you would give preliminary approval to tonight if you agree with this project. And then we would record that down at county. It is townhomes, unlike other condominium projects, can be recorded fee title. So they would create a split lot here, and the existing duplex that would straddle that new property line and run through the middle wall. So in that way, it's a townhome, 2 attached units. Part of that project is also to convert that and add a second floor to the duplex. They're using the existing outline of the building. They're adding a second floor. Non-conforming residential uses that are in a residential zone can be expanded. So it's all right for them to do that. And it doesn't require the subdivision. They could add on to the top of the duplex because it's a non-conforming residential structure in a residential zone. And they've actually applied for the permit for that. And Haley, have we issued that? Yeah. So they have the permit for that. This is a request to building on that expansion that they're undertaking right now to turn it into not just a nicer duplex, but instead a twin home that could be owned, or 2 townhomes in this instance, that could be owned separately, individually. So just to go through some of the things here real quickly, one of the requirements is that for the expansion of non-conforming use like this is that it has to meet current standards for building permits and things like that for construction. And it has to keep meeting the setbacks and things like that are required. And it does meet those. You can go through that table if you like, but it meets all of those. The one exception to that is lot size. And that's a specific function of the other section of code we're looking at here, which is 2216-9A. That's part of the conversion, the townhome and condominium conversion portion of our ordinances that allows for minimum lot sizes of underlying zones not to apply. That's so that they can do them as true townhomes, fee title. You can own the land and the unit as well. That's their intention. That makes it more likely that they get owner occupied. So the code seems to support that. Any questions about this thus far? A couple other things have to do with parking. Right now, the duplexes have 1 parking space that is to the rear of the building, like we require them. They're required to have 2 under the condominium conversion code. So they've extended the driveways. There's not room to cover them because it would violate setbacks in that case. So they're not required to have covered parking. So they'll have 2 tandem parking spaces, but nothing covered. And then again, we talked about lot sizes. Building height, just to make sure you understand that too. They're allowed 35 feet in height. Even with the second story, they're going to be well under that. It does add living space and bedrooms, makes the duplexes or the townhomes, if they're successful in this bid, more desirable, more usable. Any questions? Okay.
So
Oh, go ahead.
I have a question. So the 2216-9A allows you to reduce your minimum size for a townhome conversion.
You could do it's only for townhomes. Yeah.
But so my question is, does that, now that it's basically an R4, basically.
Well, we don't have an R4. But
Right.
I know what you mean though.
You see what I'm
I
saying?
do.
So like if one side wanted to knock down, I mean, what are the rules on some of that stuff, and how does
Right. That's
that change things? Because, you know, it's an individual unit despite sharing a wall.
It's an individual unit that shares a wall. The main rule of the condominium conversion and town conversion ordinance is 2916 or 29. It starts at 29.9, I think, or 22.9 rather. I might be getting that wrong, but the main point of that section of the code is that you cannot increase the number of units that are on the property as it is. So if you had a fourplex and you wanted to condominiumize it, you might be able to do that, but you can't turn that fourplex into a 6plex,
Okay.
regardless of the area that you have. So let's say you had enough land to do another unit, you still couldn't.
Okay.
Because it has to be, it's applicable only to existing structures that want to be converted, not to the construction of totally new things. If the Durfees had bought this property and torn the duplex down, they couldn't do this. They couldn't rebuild as
Right.
2 townhomes. They'd have
So
to
they'd be
just,
stuck with a
Exactly.
7.5.
exactly.
And if they tore down after this, they would still be stuck with 7.5 because that's
Yeah.
what it's zoned as in the area. Right.
Yeah, if this, so yes and no, because if it's subdivided as these 2 twin homes, they could rebuild that under the non-conforming But if something that you have is destroyed in part or in whole, you can rebuild it within a certain period of time.
Right.
So
But they have to rebuild what they had is, I guess, what I'm getting at.
they could rebuild this because we're going to subdivide it. They're
Right.
converting this lot into 2 townhomes instead of 1 duplex.
But
Yeah,
they're
so-
splitting the
Yeah.
lot into two,
Yeah,
with 2 different titles, right? With title
I'm
different.
just trying to make sure that
I think-
downstream, you know,
It has a lot of
juggling
implications.
things and,
It will have a lot of implications downstream.
yeah. And I like what they're doing. I just want to make sure the
I
ramifications.
like what they're
Yeah.
doing. I just don't like splitting the lot into 2.
Yeah, well, and I'm okay with that as long as we're basically staying the same way we are today.
You're not increasing unit numbers.
Yeah.
The value to it is, the value proposition of this code, of this section of code, is that you don't increase unit counts, but you do increase the opportunities for home ownership as opposed to rental.
I
So
think we're increasing quality of life without increasing density and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
to Mike's point, if about nonconformity, right now it's a nonconforming duplex in a single family R75 zone. So if it were destroyed by a tornado tomorrow, bad example in Utah, but tomorrow's tornado takes it down, they can rebuild it as a duplex because it's a legal but nonconforming use and structure. So in that way, when we split this, you're really not changing anything. Because they could always just rebuild a duplex if they lost that duplex, if they didn't do anything with it.
But they couldn't build 2 detached homes.
No,
On
not
this
on these,
lot.
not on these 2. It's
They'd have to basically stick with 2 townhomes.
right, because it was built under the townhome conversion act.
Okay.
And just for clarification again, the real difference between leaving this is either 2 rentals or 2 houses that can be sold independently.
Yeah.
They can.
Can.
Don't.
Well,
Yeah.
Will they?
They-
That's up to the owner.
I
Yeah,
still love the idea, but
it's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, and we've done
It's,
this.
just- it's, I want to think about the long-term
Yeah.
impact, that's all.
yeah, me
I'm
too.
saying
As
we've
far as the
done this
idea itself,
before.
it's fantastic.
The splitting like this, we've done
Yeah.
before. We had one that came before us. It was a long-term duplex. We had to adjust the lot line because of where the wall went wonky.
I remember that one.
And we did that. So we've done it before. So it's not out of precedent, for lack of a
No.
better term. But yeah, whether or not they do, I don't know.
Okay.
But it gives that
Good.
potential.
good questions. Thank you, guys. And they're
Does
good
it,
things.
does it have enough room to add any detached ADUs?
We don't do those for, it's a good question. Attached housing is not eligible for ADUs in,
Yes.
so not yet.
Attached or detached?
Detached.
Detached?
Detached isn't, another is, when you have, because this is multifamily housing technically, even though they're just single family homes stuck together, they share a common wall, so neither of them is eligible for an ADU interior either,
And I'm talking about detached.
right? And
Depends
detached,
on what the state
they're not
decides or we
eligible.
decide as a
Well,
city, because we have
yeah.
no ordinance. for it.
Space wise, I don't think.
We're going that way.
We're going forward towards that.
We are going.
As-
I know, but I do, so that's what the long-term implication is.
Yeah.
A factor, especially with,
But that will depend on how that statute's written, right? Whether or not it applies, just like the interior ADU ones.
just put a pin into it to not apply to the size lot, the size split.
Well, then it likely wouldn't. I mean, just
Probably don't have enough yard space.
in most cities that are running and allowing detached accessory dwelling units right now are pegging them to certain lot sizes and up, and it's usually 10,000 and up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's not likely, but it's not impossible. It's a good point. Any other questions before we move to the next section? Okay. These are just elevations that the Durfees have provided. This is what's underway in the conversion, that second floor. So you can see the similarities here. It's just redressing the building. And that's our presentation. So if you have any questions, we're happy to take them. It's not a public hearing, but Haley is here if you wanted to speak with her.
Any questions from the commission for staff?
The split is tied to the redevelopment as well, right?
Yeah, it's the redevelopment. They wanted to do make sure I characterize it correctly. They were going to do the remodel regardless.
Right.
But when they found they could split it and have a chance to sell one of the sides, they were interested in doing that. So they made sure that their remodel kept making that possible, adding the parking that they would need, et cetera. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
yeah.
Would the applicant would you like to come forward and say anything? Or are you good?
Good, just here.
Okay.
Nice.
Is there any questions for the applicant from the commission? Okay. Then moving on, this is an administrative matter, so we are the final authority on this one. Just keep that in mind. So do I have a motion? I mean, is there any further I don't think we have any further discussion. Or unless,
moved
Rod,
it.
do you do? Okay.
I move that the Orem City Planning Commission approve the requested preliminary subdivision approval for Rocket Gem Plat D Townhome conversion. That's a mouthful. Located generally at 241 West, 310 North in the R5 zone, approximately 0.195 acres.
I
Second.
second it.
Wait, no, in the R's, it shouldn't have said that. Oh, no, it does, R 7.5 though. 5, yeah, R 7.5. Do I have a second?
Jerry did.
Oh, I didn't. Thank you, Jerry. So Rod moved and Jerry seconded that we approve this item. Hasem,
Aye.
Aye.
Jerry,
Aye.
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 Okay, item 4.1 passes. We'll move on to item 4.2, and I apologize if I say this wrong. Avenesian Motors site plan located generally at 662 East, 1700 South.
Thank you. So you said it the way we say it, whether that's right or not, I can't say, but you said it how we say it. So this is again 662 East, 1700 South. You can see the lot there. They currently do car sales at this lot. They wanted to make an improvement to the lot, wanted to improve the surfacing of the lot and make better use of the space. They are not updating the building. They're not making changes to the building itself. It'll stay in that location. But it's just so this is just a site plan application, okay? It is in the C2 zone. Great. We talked earlier about car sales in the C2 zone. The areas around it are R75, but adjacent to it are all C2 zones as well. This lot is used in business currently. So this is the property. Again, you can see it's kind of turned on its side. This is the street there. So this is north, oddly, so bear with me. This is the site and landscaping combined plan. Just a few things to note. As I said, they're not changing the building at all. It's going to be used the same way. The site plan improvements they're proposing that they would like to see approved do make some significant improvements to the building's position on the site. For example, it gives us ADA access that we haven't had to the building before. That makes the building department happy. We do get ADA compliant stalls as well. This area right here is hatched to be the van accessible ADA portion for these two ADA stalls. It adds more defined parking to the project so that you get less opportunity or less of a likelihood that they wind up parked out on the street waiting for things. It improves access into the site for unloading, et cetera. And we improve the landscaping quite a bit that helps with the storm drainage as well. So we wind up with 8 trees, some good storm drainage on the property. These little islands have trees in them currently, and those will remain. Some other things to note, it does not change the access at all. That stays exactly the same and exactly where it is. Any questions about it's been through the development review process with the technical committee. It spent some time with them getting the storm drainage right and making sure that they were serious about these committed improvements. So.
Thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay. So the applicant is bad. We good?
I didn't see.
Are you good? Okay. Is there any questions? No. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Then if we have no further, any discussion? Nope. Okay, then we'll move to motion.
I move that the Orem City Planning Commission approve the requested site plan for the Avenesi, the A Motors located generally at 662 East 1700 South in the C2 Community Commercial Zone,
Okay.
approximately 0.46 acres.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Rod moved and Mike seconded that we approve item 4.2. What? Oh,
4.1.
no, this is 4.2.
Okay.
It's labeled wrong.
It's wrong
sorry.
on there. So, okay, then we'll go, so we have a motion to approve that. Mike?
Aye.
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 Okay, item 4.2 is approved. So if there's not any further business from staff, then we will motion to
I motion we adjourn.
adjourn. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Well, yeah,
If-
and just remember, we're gonna reconvene for the rest of our work session after this. So we have, yeah, Mike moved, Haysom seconded our motion to adjourn. So Haysom,
Aye.
Aye.
I
aye.
Aye.
Okay, our meeting's adjourned at 5:52 PM, and should we just stay here and just finish our, it's probably
However you'd like to do it.
easier if we
Gotta
just,
stay.
let's just stay here.
Want to reconvene here?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Fine with that.
Yeah, we'll reconvene and just give it a half second as we
Okay.
finish up here. Yeah, we're having time. Oh, wait.
There we
Way to go, Becca.
Back.
I turned them off because you adjourned and took a
Back.
break, so.
Yeah. So I was just trying to say, we're gonna have a short recess until we reconvene our meeting.
Okay. So no more desire for short recess, moving right on. Okay.
Well,
You could have a
I
recess.
feel like we
It should
could
be
have-
long.
it should be your mom.
Were you never a kid?
Yes. No, actually, I probably was.
They were never long enough, right? So we ended on item 2. Be a sophisticated, this is the second overarching goal, be a sophisticated regional retail hub. Long having considered itself the retail hub of Salt Lake County, Orem wants to become more sophisticated in that. So let's talk about the sub goals on this. Enhance and grow Orem's historic reputation as a major retail hub by growing and attracting higher end and unique retail opportunities. We touched on some of that earlier in the previous portion of the work session. How do we do that exactly? There's many different ways, but the goal is to do that, become more sophisticated in our status as a hub. Second, to improve the visual and physical appearance of State Street and enhance interconnectedness between businesses to develop a stronger retail ecosystem. That's a great statement. We touched on that a little bit too, how those even just facade renovations and good standards for development you want good standards for development and landscaping that don't harm existing businesses or stymie interested businesses, but they're usually interested in good looking development as well. So there's a balance to strike there. Third, to develop and strengthen key economic nodes along State Street. That builds on that previous statement about nodes as well. Any questions about those? They're pretty straightforward.
I mean, the question also goes along, anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah.
That's,
Are there things we're missing in that conversation about being a sophisticated retail hub?
and here we're talking more like overall value statement feelings about it, not feelings, but like,
Yeah.
what does Orem want to project about our retail future?
Yeah, I think that covers the high points.
So too. Okay.
What is higher end? I'm curious what that's supposed to mean.
I think it covers a lot. I mean, we're already starting to get some of the higher end retail. There is retail that we do not have down here in Utah County that they have in Salt Lake County that could be attracted down here that would bring people into the city.
Well, yeah, I guess my question is, what does that mean? Is it, Porsche dealerships, jewelry stores, or is it, electronic stores or Radio Shack? Because
I mean, I
that
think
brings in a lot of money if you
I think
got
it's,
people
yeah,
buying,
and
but
I think it's different things
so
for
is
different
it
people.
monetary or is it superficial higher?
Super fit. Well, that's a value judgment you're going to have to make for yourself.
Well, I'm just asking
No,
about
it
it.
just-
The statement is.
The statement is, what do we mean by higher end retail? I
Yeah.
guess in my mind, because I'm the one who wrote it, I was thinking we're getting the Lego store and we're getting we've gotten the Cheesecake Factory, but there are other things like we don't even have an REI down here. We don't have some other clothing stores. There are other types
Apple.
of Apple. We don't even, I had to go all the way up to Fashion Place to deal with something.
Not buying Apple.
I didn't buy Apple. I needed
Buy
my
it now.
Apple account for another reason. It's a whole different story. But I'm just saying,
That's a mental disorder.
but even that, having to go up to Salt Lake, again, we were talking about leakage and gaps, right? Like if we're going up to Salt Lake to go to certain places,
Yeah.
probably need them down here. I'd say Container Store, but like a lot of stores, it's
I
having
like the
issues.
container.
That's major high end. I love the
I
containers.
love the Container Store.
Everybody does. Yeah, those,
So-
I think that's what you mean. And then to the unique portion, it's boutique stores that require certain places they want to be in, places that look really nice. They want very certain requirements. So,
Well, or also stuff that we don't have, or like specialty stores. I mean,
Yeah.
there are those out there.
well, and part of that too, that helps to bring, if those are the kinds of places that you're getting, that you're able to attract, then that boosts your ability to have sectors that don't sectors that pay for more than themselves help sectors build that aren't paying for themselves for a while. See what I mean? So your arts and culture might not be net positive for a while, but if the area around it is doing really well, it'll do better sooner, and you don't have to carry it for as long if you really want it for your culture and for your community, because
Well,
there's
often
more than
those are-
economics, right?
Well, often those are never net positive.
They may never be. They may never.
It's very common for the arts districts to be, not net positives, but
They contribute.
culturally, they're
they contribute
considered
in other
net
ways.
positive, yes.
Yeah.
But and I'm
So-
just using this as
So that's an analysis you always have to make is,
Sure.
do we feel as a community that this has an intrinsic value that not a monetary value?
Right.
yeah. But and we'll talk about arts in a minute here, but like under entertainment. But if they're coming to go see a show, and then we have a Longhorn Steakhouse or insert some Chris, insert anything else here, then that money.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps.
They
attract
contribute in
people
indirect ways,
Mm.
right? They're a draw, and that's maybe lacking currently. So that's what the heart of downtown plan is to try to bring people downtown. It's for drawing them in, not for necessarily making more money at some black box theater. It's to bring people there for other reasons. You make money selling hamburgers and jewelry and overpriced leather goods and whatever else. So, okay. Next steps, recapture lost sales tax leakage. We've talked about that tonight. Conduct a target industry analysis to determine the gaps. That's again repeated, but it's another step that goes with this as well.
And this one's specifically for retail growth.
Right. Thank you. Develop a comprehensive city policy to attract and incentivize high quality retail investments. Initiate partnerships with major retail corporations and industry leaders to encourage flagship stores and unique retail experiences. Upgrade infrastructure and public amenities in key retail districts to enhance accessibility and customer experience. Some of that goes with the item above. Modern retail is becoming more experiential. People care more and more in the research and the white papers on it about their experience when they were spending their money, not just what they got for the money, because it's that was formerly intangible. But it matters more to newer consumers, what their experience was.
And City Creek and Salt Lake is an example of that.
Yeah, the experience matters. So let's see, I lost my place talking about experiential retail, upgrade infrastructure. Okay. Promote mixed use development projects that integrate retail with entertainment, dining, and residential spaces. Those are lifestyle centers. And that's a lot of the new thinking in development. Lots of developers want to do that. And they want to be involved in that. It doesn't have to mean that we need to create, it doesn't necessarily have to lead to the creation of mixed use zones, but targeted projects in certain areas where they make sense that would be mixed use. Maybe that works. It depends. That's something we need to keep talking.
So I was the one that put that or recommended that be included. And my logic behind that was, as Madeline and I talked, if we're looking at partnering with industry, funding, at least in my humble little opinion, is more likely to come if they have other opportunities associated with that one project.
Yeah, that does make sense. To Gary's point about his story about In-N-Out, for example, this is just a different version of that. There are some boutique retailers, and they take up smaller spaces, but they have their requirement is they won't go into anywhere that doesn't have associated on the same site or within a certain distance high-end residential multifamily. There's not as many of those as there are In-N-Out burgers, but there are some, and you don't get those without that. They only go in lifestyle centers And that is the retail world's version of a lifestyle center. So they just don't, it's a box that's got to be checked for them and they're not interested in negotiation. They just move on.
And
That's some of those folks.
in putting this, I'm not suggesting we build a bunch of high rises.
No, sure.
Because
Nor that it's just like retail on the floor, ground floor and
yeah,
apartments above. It's just that they're
Right.
within. And we actually have a lot of those. If you really think about it, we do
There are some.
have some of those places around here.
There are more often than not, they're mixed use integrated projects as opposed to mixed use buildings. They're not vertical mixed use as much as they are horizontal mixed use projects. And those are usually more, they're less dense and they're more palatable to surrounding neighborhoods. And those are lifestyle centers. People like them. Still work. So implement the next one. This is an interesting one. I like it. Implement marketing campaigns to position Orem as a premier shopping destination in the region. Maybe we're not doing enough brand promotion. We should look at that and see what our kind of our visibility is as a city vis-a-vis the development community. How do they view us? And if we need to adjust that, how do we do that? We got a really talented communications and PR department in the city, promoting the city within the city. How do we promote the city outside the city? Are we doing a good job of that? We need to look at that. Foster collaboration between local businesses and national brands to support innovation and diverse retail offerings. There are a lot of opportunities with people that know important people in Orem. Lots of things that could be fostered there, and we can do a good job of finding ways to do exactly that, to leverage the things that we have, the people that live here, that love Orem, that are part of the community, and beyond that, just that want to locate here. As they start locating, how do we, as one big business comes in or one notable brand comes into the city, how do we build on that and bring others as well?
Yeah.
And how do we foster that?
And I just want to reemphasize again on this one, kind of where I was coming from with the high end stuff. And even a lot of what we're talking about here, it's about, I mean, Orem was the mall for a long time for Utah County.
Yeah.
It was seen as that economic, and as the county evolves and change and those centers move, we have to do something like we've been talking about to attract people back into Orem. And if we can get these things first, then they don't go into Lehigh or they don't go down further south in the county.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, that really it's either going to be American Fork Lehigh or it's going to be Spanish Fork Payson that's really going to start pulling. And yeah, they're going to need their retail to a certain extent because their centers are getting that large. So how do we differentiate ourselves and keep ourselves relevant and bring those tax dollars and spend here?
That's great. Absolutely. Okay.
The fun one.
Anything else or questions? If not, let's talk about entertainment and being the entertainment hub of Utah County. So the first statement is, as Family City USA, Orem should be a vibrant entertainment hub with activities and experiences that appeal to a wide range of ages and interests to become the premier destination for entertainment in Utah County. That's a great statement. Anything we need to talk about with that? Anybody have, does anybody not want to be the entertainment hub? It seems like it's up for the taking right now. I say we take it. Be the entertainment hub. Okay.
I'm all on board. Me and Madeline have been talking about it for
Good
a
deal.
while.
I think
So, and I just got excited when we mapped it out and started discussing and whiteboarding the idea.
it does seem like there's a real opportunity there, right? So
And I think we're just uniquely placed within the county to be that.
I agree. Okay. Enhanced. So 3.2, enhance tourism opportunities in Orem. From focus on outdoor recreation and tourism. That's right out of is that out of the master plan?
That's out of the master plan.
That's out of our current Parks and Rec master plan, or is
No,
it the
that was out of the
economic development?
economics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, focusing on outdoor recreation and tourism. This statement right now just says enhance tourism opportunities in Orem, but the recreation as well. Is that?
Yeah, and then the broader question, which when Rod and I were discussing, was also, do we want to make it specific? He had brought up sports tourism. entertain, we've talked about entertainment, we talked about arts too, in general, in our discussions. So the question is, do we just want it a broad statement or do we want it a more focused statement
Yeah.
as to what specifically we want to attract?
Well, and some of the, maybe some of the more focused, some of the more specific ones could be in the next steps, or they could just be included in that item. It's really all, it's really all tourism and recreation, I guess. It depends. Anybody have any strong feelings about it? Including
maybe
the
that
word
is-
recreation or not?
Change it to enhance tourism and recreation opportunities in Orem, have it as a broader statement.
I like that myself.
Yeah.
But it's up to you guys.
You like that? Okay, yeah, so enhance tourism and recreation opportunities in Orem.
I'm going to make that change in real time.
Yeah.
Okay. 3.3, and this is where we've had some good conversations about this. Strengthen the hospitality industry throughout Orem. That's going to be necessary if 3.2 is going to be realizable, right? Hospitality has to be there to support tourism and recreation and sports tourism or whatever it might be. But what does that look like? What does that look like specifically? Well, the strategic plan would probably tell us what we're most well positioned to seek out first. But this goal is important. We need, the first step is recognizing that we need to strengthen that. And then I like 3.4. You guys tell us if you have strong feelings about it. Create an Orem Arts and Convention Center, or at least research the creation of one, what it takes to do it, where it ought to be located, and then, or where it would do the best, and if it's feasible. How do we say that? Is there a way to say that better, or are we okay to just to say it? How does everybody feel about it?
So for me at 3.3, I think it should be more targeted, like a focused, like the corridors and we talked about, like a medical corridor place where
Where the
within the
hospitality
city.
goes in.
we don't want to turn State Street into a hotel corridor type thing.
So target where it ought to belong, where it
Yeah,
belongs.
but there are, great spots down University along the freeway or great targeted spaces. Mouth of the Canyon is a great place, especially for sports tourism and recreational stuff. People who are coming here are probably going to go up the canyon largely. So, I think we want to be fairly targeted in that.
Where we grow the hospitality
Yeah.
industry.
So part of the reason the way I wrote it this way, and I'm not, going to fall on my sword for wording, but part of the reason I worded it this way is, at least for a current season, BYU is getting a lot of publicity for their football and basketball programs, and UVU is not doing so bad with basketball. There seems to me that there's a lot of sports tourism that we don't have very many accommodations or companies or whatever the word is that go after those.
Right.
And that seems to me like it could be a really good opportunity, especially given the bus that runs down to the stadium, et cetera, that we could do some things and targets the sports aspect of it with maybe not doing a whole lot of development. Maybe that's more of a marketing thing. I don't know. But anyway.
Okay.
Well, and I think it's tied into some of the other things you've talked about too. I mean, and we've all talked about, which is targeting specific industries coming in and saying, hey, we really need X brand hotel here. What do we do? What do we want? Because what levels do we want? Because as we've talked about several times, we probably have a lot of 2-star hotels, but we're lacking in higher end hotels, which again would help with other goals. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Some people with a little bit deeper pockets are looking for nicer places to stay when they come to the area.
Yes, and if we had a nicer, other cities, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. I'd just be asking to sleep on one of your couches if I was coming back in for one of those rods. So
I'm with you, Jared.
keep that in mind when I'm coming back.
I'm with you, Jared.
Me and you both. 2 stars, perfectly good for me. I feel a little out of place in a 2-star. I'm not quite that highbrow.
So I've got an approved, currently unoccupied grandmother apartment. So
Yeah.
George.
You never know when I'm going to need it. Depending on how long this meeting goes, I might need it sooner than later. Okay, so I made a note on that, and I think we can massage that language a little bit as we move this forward and add some statements about where it ought to be. There's ways we can do that kind of mirrored in the earlier subsections too. If that's amenable to everybody, we'll work on that. What about the 3.4, creating the Orem Arts Convention Center? That's the same kind of thing. Do we need to add language about studying or anything like that? Or are we just going to go straight to
Create it.
create it? Okay.
I don't know. That's my opinion, but
Well, if
I think we should.
you want to, you let it go forward to the council from you as a suggestion that we just ought to do it.
yeah. And if they want to step it back, that's,
I mean, it's the general plan. This is no
They
commitment.
certainly get ahead of anything we put in.
they do. They absolutely do. I mean, yeah.
There's no down payment required to send it forward saying we need to create one. You can
Yeah,
always change your.
We're setting the bar at create, and if they want to choose something less, as opposed to pulling back and saying, maybe we should investigate this.
And it goes without saying that you're not gonna invest those public dollars without doing all the things we just talked about. So it's fine to say it. If you're fine with it this way, this broad, then we'll leave it for it. Okay. Not hearing any big concerns with that statement. Let me go to next steps. Increase cultural and arts activities in the city. That's a good goal. And a good step. Determine opportunities to attract new entertainment venues and facilities to Orem. These are all to support becoming the entertainment hub of the county. The Heart of Downtown plan. We have that in the works with the council right now. Research creating a City of Orem Tourism Commission or Advisory Council. It's a great step. Research creating a recreation district at the mouth of Provo Canyon on 800 North to encourage and facilitate recreation-based development.
I want to reemphasize those last two actually currently are in our economic.
Yeah, they're already part of
Plan.
it, right?
They already are. We're just pulling them here to make it emphasized.
And that first one, the creation of an Orem Tourism Commission, that goes a long way to what we were talking about with branding and advertising. That's exactly what that is. It's just specific to tourism, right? Who are we to other people outside of the city, the county, the state? Great. Other questions about those next steps? Because that brings me to my next point. There is no goal 4. I kind of like this as the 3. As we've looked at it in different drafts, we've talked about, well, do we split that out and make it a separate goal? I think things fit really well. To me, it reads real well as it is. And the fewer bulleted numbers there are, the more sort of understandable it remains. And they are kind of all related. I like it at 3. If you feel like things need to be broken out, I would ask you to read through it. It's on that link. You can follow there and read it. And if something doesn't make sense to you, it's easy to make a comment. You just click that. I'm going to show you on. Can you all see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm you, and I'm looking at this later, tomorrow, next weekend, and I want to make a comment about one of these things, I'm going to pick this one. I highlight it like this. I right click it. No, I don't.
You
I
just
don't
click
right-click
over
it.
there.
I go up here to this little thing that looks like a word box, almost like a cartoon is saying something to you, and you click it. That's saying show all the comments. That's not it either. I go to this
It's a
one.
little blue one.
The
Yeah.
one that's got the blue plus sign in it. This one will show all of the comments all along. Go over here to the side once you've highlighted it and click that little box that says add a comment. And it'll pull up, it'll highlight that in a different color and it'll pull up a place for you over on the side to say, I don't know what I want to say. I had it in my head a second ago. I'm just going to say leakage because I can't remember what it is, but I did one comment. And then when you're done typing it, you click comment and it will put it in. And then everyone can see it as they come through.
Yeah. And as we said before, you can call Jared, call me, text me, email me. And if there's anything you want to add.
If you're not comfortable doing it this way, do it any way you want. This is just one way of doing it. It's one tool. Avail yourself of just phones and emails. We're fine. Whatever you want to
Sticky
do.
notes on the fridge.
Sticky notes on the fridge. Say, come over to my house. Take a
Great.
picture of the sticky notes.
Say,
and
put them
them
all over my front door. You're
Yeah.
good, and I'll get them.
It's fine. Any way you want to comment on it, please feel free anytime.
So yeah, we'll probably be moving on from economics.
Yeah.
Let's move on from economics.
Well-
I'm going to just make it definitive. We're going to move on from economics. Next,
Draft
we're going
is
to
there.
Yeah, I think we have a good base. If people think of things or as we kind of tweak other areas,
Yeah.
we can always come back and add more. This isn't final. This
None
is
of it's
just,
set in stone, right? We're
Yeah.
still drafting, but if we move on from working on this draft portion to working on
Oh, we're
Parks-
gonna go on to
Parks
Parks and Rec and Public Utilities.
Parks and Rec and Public Utilities are next. But that doesn't mean you don't get to think about economic development anymore. You have ideas, boom, we.
And it'll go into those too. I mean,
Oh, it will.
the arts and entertainment and all
So, yeah,
that. So-
next time.
So
we're together-
I think more than just a plan, because I agree we have a good foundation here. But I think several of us are very interested in translating this to
Yeah.
some recommended next concrete steps.
To actions.
Right.
And that's more than clear. I will carry that message forward to the best of my ability. Absolutely.
Happy to help support that message.
You bet. I will make it known to everyone I work with that you guys are interested in seeing real action taken on this.
Well,
That's great.
David here heard several of his comments.
Sure. And, okay, so the next time we're together will be November 5th. We probably will have I think we have 4 or 5 things that will be on the regular agenda. So we probably won't get to come back into one. So we'll get what we can on the
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
Just be thinking about Parks and Recreation. There's a
Yeah.
great guide for it. I mean, that's another one that has, just like economics, has a master plan.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to go through and see what people's priorities were again in 2022
Yeah.
after the pandemic.
In preparation for that coming up, if you'd like, we can send you all, email you all a copy of the Parks and Rec plan. You can browse through it because then you're going to start seeing drafts of the Parks and Rec plan in here. So to build on that and kind of build your vocabulary for that discussion, take a look through it. It's really quite interesting as a master plan. So,
So,
okay.
okay.
Anything else for staff, guys?
Any
Okay.
other comments? Okay. Then
Appreciate your time.
yeah, we'll just adjourn our work session at 6:18 PM.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Commission.
Thanks, see ya.
So I assume Rebecca would like us to get out of here sooner than later. Is that correct?
The baby's already here, so I mean,